Okay, good morning all. Our group discussion topic is how privatization destroy higher education in India. So before that, actually the privatization is government having law and control over higher education and letting the private organization work with autonomy. So we all are familiar with some government institute like IIT, NIT. All these are under the control of government. But they got high quality of education, infrastructure and low amount of the fees also. But in my opinion, other than privatization, government should implement some changes itself, may lead to high inputting all those students who are belongs to lower, below poverty line students.
Yes, it is a correct way to as a privatization is nothing but it is an important and expanding that qualitative and quantitative service of this India. Even that the privatization means that only the private sector has increasing for the day-to-day generation of the education system. Nowadays, most of the students have to enroll for this private sector because of the reason they have to maintain that quality educations and quality services and quality infrastructures. So that's why the privatization is day-to-day increasing in nowadays. So and central government and state government has encourage for this privatizations because of the reason of they increasing about that growth level and human resources. That's why the privatizations has one of the main role in this society.
So if we talk generally, education plays a major role in our society to survive, not only to survive for the sake of employability and for the personal growth. So education is very important. There is a quotation which was said by Nelson Mandela, that the 11th president of South Africa said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can choose, which we can change our world. So, right? So that's the reason education is a major role. So when coming to privatization means privatization is nothing but it's a transferring of ownership from public sector to private sector.
So I think it's not only the problem of students or citizens, it's actually a problem for the part of government, because just because they are providing it for a cheaper fee or like for free, there is a lack of infrastructure and lack of quality education. So that's why many people, including from lower sector of society, decide to join a private institute by taking loans, etc. So I think government has to put a lot of work in improvement.
I don't think privatization completely destroy Indian higher education system, but some private institutions offer high quality education in many private educations.
Privatization also increasing the new opportunities to students, and they're getting placements, and many of the private institutions were offering placements too. That's why students were more focused on private institutions and colleges. But there is also negative impact also, that it is increasing the gap between rich and poor. Because of high fee structure, it is also influencing rich and poor people were mostly.
Yeah, and also in private sector, the person with a good score and the person with low score, they are equal. If they have money, then they are in stable.
Yes, I agree with sharing that, because most of the top colleges, government colleges like IIT, IIM, everything is mainly focused on targeted on very hard, very studious students. Like not everyone can enroll there. So I think the government has to introduce some quality colleges where the average students can also take part.
Yes, I agree. In this so many people in India are like to join private education, but it's not possible for all students because of some people or students coming from lower family. So it's not possible for higher fees.
I agree with that point, because the people who have enough money, they are going to start their children in private schools, right? So when coming to lower middle class people and lower middle class people, they are not affordable to study their children in private education. So this is a main drawback, and it shows an impact for literacy ratio.
Yes, I support Mahi's statement, because education prepares a man for life, and it's a important, powerful tool. So what happened is that India, the major issue is affordability. And the government sector, the seats are very low. If a child with lower financial background, he could not afford a seat or the course which he wants to study, because the profit motive of private sector, they put high fee amount which an average child cannot bear, so they have to change the stream.
If government has followed the education system of Western countries, which they give admission according to the talent of the students, not for money.
Everyone has deserved and the right to education, but their main criteria is money. If you have money, we don't admission. This is the violence. This is, I think, it's direct to the role of right to education.
In our present situation, mainly the students are enrolling for the education because they are given more opportunities for this every student, and it will be given the job opportunities or quality education and quality infrastructure for this in certain areas. So in my college level, I studied in private institutions. So that there is the one reason about that there are 5 or 7 institutions in surrounding. They have to competition for this other university, so it will be increasing about that education levels also. That's why the reason they providing quality services for the student, it will be only they only providing for this better communication and practical knowledge about that in every student. So not providing in buddy system. So that's why they're providing and they implementing that other sectors.
They will take also they will take care of the students from morning to evening, and private sectors also make students awareness about general knowledge.
So actually, when we speak about privatization, we should also look into ICC, CBC, state division, and how it is affecting. Because parents are also having a notion that the students should study like high school. They are ready to pay, even though it's not affordable. They are ready to pay a high amount of donation and fees, as if they believe that the private institutes give more quality
I
education.
think education is one of the biggest reasons in the world. And being privatized, absolute privatization leads to the demolition of and the commercialization of education. I mean, the public responsibility of education will be destroyed.
Private institutions also consider education as a commodity and students as a customer. Because we are paying fees to study, that's why it is like that private institution taking education as a commodity.
Yes, it has become a buyer-seller relationship, because education has become a biggest commodity here, and in the global world, if it's like CBC, privatization has taken over a great part of it, and both the main motive of privatization is higher profit. If they just focusing on education, on the profit motive, as the quality of education is also decreasing there.
I don't think so. There are many good institutions that mainly focus on education only. There are like XLRI, MDA Gurgaon. There are top institutions that are only focused on.
Yes, I agree with Abdul on that, because there are a lot of private institutions which are providing excellent quality education. Yeah, they are charging a very high amount of fee, but they are trying to provide the education up to par. But not every private, but there are some private institutions.
Yes, I also agree there are many private institutions, especially XLRI. They are also providing excellent placement. So even human resource management is one of them. So I'm not just saying that, but when we consider privatization, now we can see that I feel it's focusing on profit motive, and the quality is sacrificed some way.
Yes, profit is the main objective on this basis of private education, other than the students' education.
Also, private education decreases the state and central financial burden also.
For reputation and passing on percentage, some private institutes fall in the school feeding system. It will badly affect the students' career growth. It's reducing skills like engagement, creative, and others. Quality is still as a question mark for private institutes.
We cannot say that privatization destroying education, so because it is offering more course for students, and the students can choose, but they have many options to choose in private institution. That is an advantage for private institutions.
There is a point actually that we look forward, because there are so many courses in India which are not available in the government colleges. Only private institutions can provide.
But I think 2020 our Prime Minister introduced a policy, national education policy for making India as a global power education. So he can run by doing or implement the government education system.
Maybe but the placement opportunities are more provided by private institutions.
But government itself, there is a placement like IIT and NIT, they provide also like placement.
Yes, the affordability also is an issue, and as I told that higher education loans and with high interest, the students are just taking higher education loan, that it would really affect in their future in order to maintain a financial stability in their life.
According to me, both sides have merits and demerits.
Yes, privatization is of course we need, because India is a more populated country and we need education. When such the burden of public will the government will be reduced.
As population is increasing, but demand for education is also increasing. So privatization of private institution is also necessary, because everyone not getting government colleges. So that's why privatization is also very important. Government sector has restrictions.
Yes, of course, as Aarti said, everyone want a particular seat in a school, but a government colleges have a very limited seat, which a student, if they wish to study, what will they do? Of course, they want to go to a privatized institution, but maybe they will not be able to afford the fee, so they have to change their path.
And the private institutions with students will never get the education like on the basis of caste, like
And scholarship, education scholarship through government product more.
And this privatization increases inequality among students also.
Privatization is increased inequality among students because of the high and poor, rich and poor people.
When comparing with the government and private sector, the private sector has been providing good facilities for this every student, and government sector also providing, but the students are not following for this some instructions. So that's why the government sector and private sector are both providing equally opportunity, but the private sector is the professors has given instruction, they mainly follow that rules. So that's why the students are gain more knowledge about the private institution.
Private education students are under the control of strict rules and regulations. So it will be improve the standard of education for the students.
Sometimes if students may delay with payment of semester fee or another, students get mentally harassed by management. It will badly affect the career growth and academic growth.
Dina said right. Even if it's a public sector, means people can watch on it and they can make a riot or something like that. When private sector, there will be always a public and they will protect themselves, and we can't understand what is going within it. What are the major issues, etc. They are also charging very high fees. Example, if we take one of the institution, we can take BSc Forensic Science, and they are charging amounts 2 lakh rupees. If a student with an average family, they could not afford it, so they have to change their dream.
And there are also a bunch of private colleges, and like they are charging a very high fee, but once you pass out from there, actually there is no value. Once you go for jobs and all, because of that,
They are only focusing quantity, not quality.
Fake advertisement from the private institutions are one of the major problems. The showcase.
Yes, of course, they taking the admission, they will be it's something like that, we are special. After the admission only, we will be able to find the dark reality which is going on inside the institution.
Last 3 minutes.
Also, private institutions exploit teachers and other professors by reducing their wages and
that's a very good point.
But most of the private institutions are the global and like international countries, so they can implement the international standard of education in India, like their quality of education will increase.
Yes, we are not saying anything about that privatization is. We are not with that statement, but there are some factors which lead that privatization is destroying, and we can agree with many points there, because as we discussed many points.
So main case is balance. There should be, as India is a very high populated country.
India is a mixed economy.
Yes, we need
We
equal number of
need privatized institution, but we also want to check and monitor them regularly.
Yes.
Because whatever activities are going on there.
In many countries like Japan, public institution providing more quality of education and private is not providing that. There are also, in that country we can say that public institutions are more affordable and providing quality education.
Yes, of course. Because we have learned in America and all, education is almost very free and all are getting quality education. But in India, we can feel real gap between it because of the children's are learning, because of the what privilege and underprivileged sections are really affecting due to this. So
Education is a fundamental right of people.
Everyone gets educated. Everyone should get quality education.
in conclusion, the privatization, even though promise enhance and innovation, its impact on higher education in India is really threatening, and it is all about profit motive. So the gap, what happened is the gap between the privileged and underprivileged section is increasing, and what the inequality among the students are increasing. It's the major issue of privatization. So
Okay.